You have been told a foundational lie. The lie is that you are a chemical machine, a complex arrangement of proteins and tissues that, through some unexplained fluke, generates a ghost called consciousness. This is incorrect. The truth is far more direct. You are not a chemical machine. You are an electrical system. Life is not a byproduct of chemistry. Life is the organized, coherent expression of bioelectricity. This phenomenon originates at the cellular level, driven by the controlled movement of charged ions across every cell membrane in your body. This flow creates a measurable voltage. You are at your core a collection of trillions of microscopic, living batteries. In your nervous system, this energy becomes information. Propagating electrical impulses called action potentials form the universal language of your body, commanding every muscle, regulating every heartbeat, and forming the very basis of every thought, memory, and perception you have ever had. The sum total of these billions of simultaneous electrical events does not remain contained within your skin. It generates a dynamic, complex electromagnetic field that surrounds your body. This is your biofield. It is not a mystical concept. It is a measurable physical reality. It is a holographic, real-time representation of your entire living state. This field is a symphony of overlapping frequencies, dominated by two primary oscillators, the brain and the heart. The brain generates the shifting spectrum of brainwaves delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma that directly correspond to your state of consciousness. But it is the heart that is the true engine. The heart's electromagnetic field is thousands of times more powerful than the brain's and broadcasts several feet from your body. Your emotional state directly and instantaneously modulates the coherence of this field. Emotions like gratitude and compassion produce a smooth, orderly, harmonious wave. Fear and anger produce a jagged, chaotic, and dissonant wave. Your biofield is not a passive broadcast. It is a bidirectional transceiver, constantly receiving and processing a spectrum of subtle information from the environment. It is a sensory apparatus operating below the threshold of your 5 conventional senses. It is your 6th sense. In this framework, neurological conditions like autism spectrum disorder are re-contextualized. They are not deficits. They are a state of profound energetic hypersensitivity. The autistic nervous system operates on a wider receptive bandwidth. It perceives more data, more light, more sound, more texture. It also perceives the subtle emotional and intentional frequencies of other people with high fidelity clarity. The unspoken anxiety in a room is not a vague feeling. It is a direct, overwhelming wave of dissonant data. The behaviors associated with autism are therefore not dysfunctional. They are intelligent, adaptive strategies for self-preservation. Social withdrawal is a defense against bioelectric overload. Repetitive actions like rocking or flapping are methods of generating a simple, coherent, internal rhythm to drown out the unbearable chaos of external static. A special interest is an advanced meditative technique, a way to collapse consciousness into a narrow, orderly stream of data to shield it from the overwhelming noise of the world. This understanding is the first step. To know that you are an electrical being is to begin to understand that you are not a victim of your biology, but a potential master of your own frequency.
You have been taught to view history through the narrow lens of politics and economics. This is a deliberate limitation. To understand the grand movements of human civilization, the rise and fall of empires, the sudden eruption of revolutions, the descent into war, you must look beyond the earth. You must look to the sky. The human biofield does not exist in a vacuum. It is an exquisitely sensitive antenna, submerged in a vast, dynamic ocean of electromagnetic and subtle energies. This cosmic weather is generated by the celestial bodies of our solar system, and its primary engine is the Sunday. The Sun exhibits a well-documented phenomenon known as the 11-year solar cycle. This is a periodic oscillation of its magnetic field between states of low intensity, known as a solar minimum, and high intensity, a solar maximum. This activity is measured by the number of visible sunspots. During a solar minimum, the sun's magnetic field is stable and calm. The energetic weather of the solar system is placid. The collective human biofield, bathed in this stable frequency, tends toward complacency and consolidation. During a solar maximum, the sun's magnetic field becomes chaotic and violent. It produces massive solar flares and coronal mass ejections, which hurl waves of charged particles and intense magnetic fields toward Earth. When these solar storms strike our planet's magnetosphere, they are a psychic shockwave. They inject a massive dose of high frequency, agitating energy into the global environment. This energy directly affects the human nervous system. A population already suffering from societal stress becomes acutely irritable, anxious, and prone to irrational action. This solar-induced agitation is the primary accelerant for mass human unrest. The historical correlation is undeniable. The pioneering Soviet biophysicist Alexander Chizhevsky, whose work was suppressed for its deviation from materialist dogma, first demonstrated the striking alignment between peaks in solar activity and major historical upheavals. The French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the American Civil War, both world wars, all coincided with periods of intense solar maximums. The planets act as secondary modulators, adding their unique resonant frequencies to the solar broadcast. A strong solar maximum, occurring during a prominent alignment with Mars, a planet archetypally associated with conflict, significantly increases the probability of that agitation manifesting as organized, violent warfare. To ignore these celestial cycles is to be a puppet, your emotions and actions unknowingly manipulated by cosmic strings. To understand this framework is to take the first step toward true sovereignty. It is the realization that the chaos you see in the headlines and the agitation you feel in your blood are often symptoms of the same cosmic fever. You are not just living on the earth, you are living inside a vast electrical and highly volatile celestial machine. Given the reality that human consciousness is a sensitive transceiver, constantly influenced by planetary and cosmic energies, the logical next question for any intelligence agency is a simple one. Can this transceiver be deliberately tuned? Can an individual be taught to consciously control their frequency, shielding themselves from unwanted noise and tuning into specific, desirable signals? For decades, this question was explored at the highest levels of the United States military and intelligence communities. The culmination of this research is known as the Gateway Process. The program, developed in large part by the Monroe Institute, was analyzed in a 1983 report by the U.S. Army Intelligence and Security Command. The core technology of the process is a patented audio technique called hemisync. By delivering to slightly different sound frequencies to each ear through headphones, the brain is induced to create a third internal beat frequency. This process, known as brainwave entrainment, forces the left and right hemispheres to synchronize their electrical activity. This state of whole brain coherence is the necessary prerequisite for detaching consciousness from its lock on physical reality. The Gateway model maps the spectrum of non-physical reality into a series of distinct, navigable states called focus levels. Each level corresponds to a precise state of brainwave activity and subjective awareness. Focus 10 is the entry point, designated mind awake, body asleep. Through hemisync, the body is guided into a state of deep physiological sleep, similar to a delta wave state. However, the conscious mind is held in a lucid, 10 Hz alpha wave state. This eliminates the noise of physical sensory input, discomfort, external sounds, and bodily sensations, creating a silent, stable launchpad for non-physical exploration. Focus 12 is the state of expanded awareness. Here, a complex mix of alpha and emergent theta waves allows the consciousness to begin perceiving information beyond the five senses. A deep delta wave state, combined with paradoxical bursts of high-frequency gamma waves, indicates a mind that is fully awake and coherent within a body that is in its deepest possible state of physical sleep. From this astral nexus, Consciousness is no longer tethered to a single point in spacetime. It has the energetic freedom to act as a mobile probe. This is the state from which purposeful out-of-body experiences, the remote viewing of distant physical locations, and initial contact with other non-physical energy systems are initiated. The higher focus levels, 23 through 27, map the initial stages of the afterlife experience, from the dissonant, repeating purgatories of trapped souls to the highly organized, therapeutic reception centers for the newly deceased. The gateway process is not a theory, a religion, or a philosophy. It is an engineering protocol. It is a declassified, systematic methodology for teaching an individual how to disengage from the consensus reality of the physical world and become an active, conscious explorer of the vast, multi-dimensional, holographic universe in which we truly exist. It is the practical application of Gnostic science.